Matt and I have been married for quite some time, and we have two lovely daughters, and we were living in a beautiful home that we had designed together. And he was working at Lancaster General Hospital, well, in a neurology practice as a physician assistant, and I was working for the State Department of Education and working in schools. It was a part-time job that I absolutely loved, improving schools that were in need of improvement. They were on a list of schools that were considered failing. And I was loving that work. And I was also working at the college level part-time. So my time was free to call my own, meaning I could schedule days to work when I needed to work. I was free to be there for my kids, and I could go to their activities, and it was great. I belonged to some educational organizations. I could fit that in. I was doing some writing. I was working with the women's Bible study and had a great circle of friends and could do lots of things with them, and things were going great. The position that I had for the State Department of Education was something that I really enjoyed. I was able to go into these schools that were considered in trouble, where most of the students in the school were not able to pass the state exam. And I was able to work with the administrators in the school and get to the root of the problem, and also work with the students and the teachers. I was right where I wanted to be, and it was so much fun. And if I wanted to be at an event for one of my kids on a Thursday, then I didn't have to work on a Thursday. I could work on a Wednesday or a Friday. And one of my daughters was involved in color guard over at the high school, and they needed chaperones, so I could do that. Whereas in other jobs that I had before, I couldn't do that. So this job had flexible hours, and it was great. I was able to do all of the things I wanted to do, and it was just perfect for me. It was a great fit. I guess every 6 weeks, the consultants for the Department of Education would have meetings just to check in to see how our schools were doing. And I loved those meetings, those networking sessions, because they were professional learning sessions. And at one of those sessions, we were told that, well, that something was going to happen. So when we were told that the budget was being cut and we were going to lose our jobs as consultants for the state, at that meeting, the person who was in charge started to talk to each of us individually and ask, what are you going to do next? What are you going to do next? And when he met with me, now most of those people were older and they were just going to go into retirement. And so when he met with me, he said, what are you going to do next? And I said, well, I'm going to have to look for a job. I have a daughter in college, and one is going to be graduating from high school in 2 years, and she has to go to college. And he kind of looked at me and said, well, you're going to have to look for a job. And when I went home that night, I told my husband I was out of a job. So I had to start looking.